And now your wedding day is one of the biggest days of your life, but it goes by in the blink of an eye, which means that capturing memories on the day itself is very, very important. Photographer Jenny McCarthy joins me now to discuss the importance of choosing the right photographer for the big day. Jenny, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. How are you?
Hello indeed. I like the way we're talking about this because it's not necessarily just looking at a photographer's work, it's about your relationship with them, which is incredibly important.
It's so important because when you think about the wedding photographer, you're going to spend the whole entire day of your wedding with them. And then you're going to be dealing with them for a few months afterwards, so that the last wedding supplier in the chain, and if you don't get on, it's not good.
So say somebody's out there and they've picked their date, it's next August, whatever. They had never even thought about a photographer before. What tips can you give them? What are the things you should be looking for? What are the things you should be avoiding?
Okay, well, first of all, you need to know what style photography you want. And most couples, when they're going into this, haven't a clue what style photography they want.
I was just about to say, most people you haven't thought about it.
Not at all. So, well, first of all, for me, I wouldn't want, cheesy style photography. So I wouldn't want to be running in a row with my bridal party and jumping up in the air and punching the air with your flowers. That's not me.
Unless you want that.
Unless you want it. So you need to decide what you want. So do you want a documentary photographer? Do you want somebody who's just going to capture the day, but also get your important family shots and your bridal party shots? Because even though you don't want to be standing there all day long having photographs taken, they're important, but they don't have to take up 5 hours, Sinead. So 45 minutes for family, bridal party and couple shots and into your drinks reception.
45 minutes?
Well, that's what I do.
That's amazing.
Absolutely. And get into your drinks reception to enjoy your guests.
I don't think I've ever been to a wedding where the photographer only took 45 minutes.
Well, you haven't been to one of mine.
I'd be booking you on that alone. Okay, so choose your style.
Yes.
And then that's a good question. Ask how long they're going to take up of your day.
Well, that's it. Now, logistics come into it as well, Sinead. So, from the church to the hotel.
If the church is far from the hotel or from the location.
How long is it going to take there? Are you going to stop somewhere along the way and have photographs taken? Or are you going to have them all taken back at the hotel? For me, unless you really want to stop somewhere, straight back to the hotel if the hotel is nice. Outside is plan A. Plan B is to take them inside, and plan B happens when it's raining. So make sure your photographer is fully equipped with professional lights. And there's Karen Coster.
I was just about to say, there's Karen's lovely wedding day in Italy.
Oh, that was so lovely.
It was absolutely magnificent. When it comes to wedding days, brides and grooms don't often think about the things they actually want photographed.
Yes.
And you're great on that. You're great on saying, well, these are the 3 things you must remember to get on the day.
Absolutely.
And request from your photographer. So what are they?
Well, I would always meet with my clients 2 weeks before their wedding anyhow. Sit down in the studio and we go through all the shots that we're going to take. But that's not just about family shots and bridal party shots. You might want shots with your friends. He might want shots with his friends. You need to absolutely nail those shots, because if you don't take them on the day, it's too late afterwards. You can never get that day back. Sinead, 4 times last year in 2013, I had couples come to me and they have had another photographer. I had to go out and recreate some of their shots. They got back into their gear, families, bridal party. Absolutely.
Why? What had gone wrong?
Because they hadn't had the shots they wanted. They didn't have family shots, and there was one, and they only
should you make a little list of the photographs that you want?
Absolutely, you should make a list of the photographs you want.
I think most people don't do that. They just trust in the photographer.
Yeah, they do. But you need to tell the photographer as well what's really important to you. I mean, even though you don't, like I said, want to be standing there all day long, your family photographs, your dad seeing you for the first time in your dress, if your
dad walking you down the aisle.
Oh my God, that is one of the most important shots of the day for me. The groom standing on the top of the aisle, looking straight ahead, petrified with his bride. I absolutely overdo that shot. They're really, really important shots to be had. You shouldn't have to tell your photographer to get those shots. They should know anyhow.
But you would recommend that be sure that you have that discussion beforehand.
Yes.
And when it comes to cost, it's a big expense on the day, but they're photographs you're going to have for the rest of your life. So it's worth spending that money.
It is.
But how much is too much? I mean, because I think people go into photographers and they're like, I don't know, like, is it €500? Is it £5,000?
Well, all photographers charge different prices, Sinead. But the one thing I would say is, first of all, decide what style you want. Go and have a chat with the photographer. This is probably the second most important tip I would give. If you love the photographs, go and have a thorough chat. Sit there for an hour if you need to. Go through albums that the photographer has. Now, I'm not talking about an album with 6 and 7 different weddings in the album, because they're all their best shots. Go and look at a full I'm going to get into trouble with photographers now.
So ask to see a full wedding album that they've created for another couple.
Yes. I have several of them. Because for me, when the couples come back in then to talk about the album and to plan out what they want, they can see what somebody else did, and it's very, very useful.
Listen, if people want more tips from you,